What's up, guys? I'm Jackson.
I'm David.
And
this is Half Court Hangout. Alrighty.
30 teams in 30 days, moving on to the Oklahoma City Thunder.
OKC, I mean, everyone thought that they were just going to plummet, but it's been about the opposite, you know?
Yeah, it's an interesting team. I actually see a bright future with especially their coaching staff, Billy Donovan, and they just seem to find a way to win, with the Chris Paul trade and setting out Westbrook. Everyone thought they were entering rebuild mode because they were kind of stuck franchise as well. And even after shipping out Paul George and shipping out Russell Westbrook, everyone thought they were projected 10th seed, something like that. Come out, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander pops off, Chris Paul pops off, Dennis Schroeder pops off. Steven Adams actually played very, very well.
Defensively, he's, I don't know if you saw the interview with Jimmy Butler. This was a while back, but he's, anyone who really tries to drive in on Steven Adams, it doesn't really work, going on someone who's such a defensive threat. I think people underestimate him. And and it's funny, people always said, well, Chris Paul, it's so cool that he popped off. But yeah, I mean, he had a great season, but there was more to this team than Chris Paul. And in fact, all the picks they got they were supposed to be bad. Look at all the draft picks they have. They're really set up if they can make some smart choices in the drafts.
How do you feel about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Chris Paul kind of fighting for the starting point guard spot, as Chris Paul came in this year averaging 17.5 points per game, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander from 10.8 points per game in 2018 to 19.1 points per game in 2019, that big boost? How do you feel about that?
I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, if they keep him on the team, is going to... I mean, Chris Paul is getting old now. He's, done so well, especially even this year, which is crazy. But, I think this is going to be, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's team. If he stays there, I don't really see his potential yet. There's some players where you can clearly see what they're gonna be like, but I don't know. I think he's one that could kind of just bottom out, kind of just stop where he is, but I'm not sure. He does seem to have potential.
Yeah, I do think with some youth on that team, they could really push for a top spot. I don't think in 2021 they'll finish as strongly as they did. I think they could still probably squeeze into one of the 7 or 8 seed in the playoffs.
I'm not sure they're gonna make playoffs, honestly. I mean, you think about it, and Billy Donovan, when you have a 5 seed that's the coach is making coach of the year, usually you'd be like, oh, he doesn't have a chance. But this is a 5 seed that was supposed to be, their whole idea was they were gonna tank pretty much. I mean, and it didn't turn out that way. It's one of those teams that you're not sure how they're winning games, but as long as they're winning, they're winning,
I kind of compare that to Toronto in a way.
Absolutely.
Pascal Siakam, even though he finished 7th in the MVP race and is very underrated, it's just, they don't have many pieces.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many good teams. You got teams like, Boston and Houston and stuff that have, worse records than a team like Toronto. So it's interesting. But, yeah, I mean, what would you give the Thunder overall for a grade?
I'm gonna say C+. I'm gonna give them B-, because I do see potential, but it's just not there yet.
I am giving them, for the next couple of years, I would say about a C+. I don't think they're going to do anything in the next couple of years. But for the long-term future, the amount of draft picks they have from, the Paul George trade and everything that they were able to do, I definitely think that if they can get some good players in the draft, I would put them closer to a B+ for longevity.
All right. That's our take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Hope you enjoy it.
I'm in a tropical